What's going on, you guys? It is another fucking day with the grown-ups here. It is the ninth episode, I think?
It would be number 9.
It'd be number 9, yeah.
Yeah, because we actually, our first week by week, you have to wait 2 months to get the fucker recorded.
I know, and now we're actually doing consecutive weeks. We're trying to get more consistent and bringing you more shit.
Right.
We're already trying to get you more content through TikTok, through Instagram, through Snapchat. Like, we're sending shit out.
Yeah.
So go and find us. Even on this video, I'm going to post all of our links. I'm going to get your links on there too.
I think I have
in the description.
Yeah, I think I have a Facebook group. I think I have a Facebook group out there. I have to make a new one because it was my old account. My old account got banned.
All right. Well, that's just because they're pussies. No.
Yeah,
that's
pussies.
just because they don't like what we have to say.
This is Facebook pussies.
Yes.
Well, if you actually looked at the content of my memes, it's almost understandable. They don't like suicide jokes.
I know they don't, but they're not funny. But really to somebody, to two people that are very close to that shit, and people out there, I'm sure relate to it. The humor that you choose to exhibit can help you through shit. We understand, so we're just here to, hopefully...
Yeah, just like...
Hopefully our shit, our dumbassery can be a guidance towards your healing and your being able to move along with shit.
It's just like Robin Williams said in Patch Adams, laughter is the best medicine.
I actually believe that.
And my life's a joke.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. I actually believe that. So... we are on the 9th episode of All My Friends Are Grown-Ups. This is the podcast, the uncut, unfiltered, and motherfucking edited podcast on YouTube and Spotify. And today we're going to be coming at you with, as we were getting inspired before this podcast.
I was all fucking amped up.
It was all fucking fun, fireworks and shit flying at the end there.
Yeah, I was shitting on a former coworker so bad.
Yeah.
He fucking sucked.
So what about this coworker?
He fucking sucked. Like you know what I mean? He's like one of those guys that blamed everybody else for his problems. It's not my fault. I only had 3 days to train you. Like you had a year to get better.
Yeah, we're talking about. Okay, I know who you're on
talking about Sean for the people who fucking like.
I wasn't gonna name drop. We're not gonna do last names here.
Tell him to fight me. I don't care.
But there was a worker there that
fucking trash.
Everybody knows. There's people, and I'm just gonna be the realist here.
Yeah, he wasn't good.
Listen, there are people in life that, for me, who's trying to go for management and or teaching. Oh shit, fuck. And or teaching. That almost got in your carpet.
Yeah,
there.
you have one buffalo bite.
I know. I didn't get to eat that before we started this podcast.
You savor that thing. That thing's soaking.
I know it's gonna be so good, but
oh fucking rip.
We didn't. As somebody that's going into management, or trying to at least, this was a guy that worked for us for a while.
Worked over for a year.
And for the one listener who I know is listening, it's not
just a little over a year.
It is not the Sean you're thinking of. For our one regular listener that I know who you are.
He wasn't there for him.
He wasn't there for him. But this man was one of those guys who constantly, like you said, blames other people for his failures and for his shortcomings.
He just wasn't good.
And it was one of those things where I know where if somebody trained him, I know you're full of shit. And I know who brought you up, he taught you the right way.
Personally, I think management. You only gave me fucking 3 days to to throw the basic at the guy.
Well, even that though. It's even when management gives you a few days only to do it.
Yeah, but they hold his hand. They held his hand the whole time.
They did, and that's what I mean.
They held his hand the whole time. When you got to pull fucking guy off a grill to help back up, there's a problem. Especially after a few months. I understand the first month or two. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You still got to learn.
Yeah.
The rhythm of the restaurant. Each restaurant has its own rhythm.
Right.
And sometimes you're wrong, sometimes right. I'm not always right. Sometimes I fuck up and oh, well, I read the day wrong.
So
this guy couldn't do it.
So there was a good thing about me.
I hope he hears this. I want to fight him anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I've had too much to drink, people. I'm
listen. There are people, the consistent bartenders that we deal with, may or may not have made the drinks
I mean,
a little strong tonight
really
because they know some certain people that come in regularly. So
he made them really strong.
I love that, man. If you're local, I don't know if you are, but if you are, go to Sununa's. I'm gonna plug that place in here right now.
That's a great place. It has a great atmosphere.
Great atmosphere. It is. It's like it's usually really relaxed, and it's like
and the bartenders
you can do your own shit.
Yeah, and the bartenders, the bartenders are real fucking chill.
Yeah, they're always fucking chill with
Some
you.
of them are pretty cute. I don't know, cute too.
Some of them are.
Yeah. I don't know, not the dude, but like whatever you're into.
Yeah.
A little curly head friend.
We'll see if Morgan follows me, because if she does, because I noticed right after I got the snap, I got another subscriber, so I'm gonna put a wink in here. Come on. If you're interested, we'll talk. Like,
that's just
I am.
That's
pretty sure.
That's a shot of Jack talking. Okay.
Well, is it though?
I
know you're trying to save my ass. It's a little bit of Jack talking, but it's also like, listen,
go for it, bro. That's my advice for everything. Just go for it.
He's my guidance.
This is not a good one. You should really listen to somebody else. Considering I've been single like half my fucking life.
Well, I've been, like I said,
it doesn't help.
This is the only year of my life from February of last year to right now that I've been single since I've been 17. So
yeah, what's that like?
It's
I think it has something to do with my personality.
It's actually not bad. I'm focusing on me.
That's
just me, and it's like, who knows what's gonna happen? Like, I have shit working, and
you're getting at the age where you need to focus on what you're gonna do for the rest of your life.
Just myself, the other shit will fall in place. So I've heard.
Self heal.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
That's
but
what it's all about.
What the fuck were we talking about?
We started shitting on that dickhead, and then we started talking about Sununa's.
We started shitting on him, and then Sununa's, and then all right, yeah. So what I was saying was, even if they gave you 3 days to train a guy, right? Like, they gave you 3 days to train a man.
He had a year to get better. They gave him a year to get better.
This directly applies to shit that I actually learned, and I take shit out of these courses, even though some of them are complete bullshit. When I had to do cores, I didn't know if I was going to end up managing either a Cracker Barrel or getting into management with the landscaping company I was with, because he didn't know what he was doing with it at the point in time. So I took a couple management courses for my cores, because there were options. The one thing, and it holds steady across the board, no matter what business you go into, the management aspect of performance amongst your employees always varies within like a few percentage points. So you're going to have, like, of your new hires that you do, there's going to be a good under 10% of them throughout your whole tenure that are going to be self-motivated, self-driven, and they're going to try to achieve the highest thing.
Yeah.
Like, they're just motivated. They're going to do, which I would like to think of myself in that category, because, like, I don't know, but, like, I know whenever I go to a job, I'm always thinking, like, whoever's interviewing me, which is usually a manager, I've always thought about it like, I'm going to do as much as I can for the position you hire me, but I want your job in the end. Like, I've always went into fucking shit, but, like, I want your fucking job.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Who's interviewing me is like, eventually, I want your job. You know what I mean?
And that's just the way it is. Yeah.
And not to be like, I want to replace you, but like, I want where you're sitting. Like, it's always been my mindset. So that's always been.
It keeps the hunger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it keeps you hungry.
But the vast majority, you have to accept then, if you're managing, that the 90% of people you hire are going to be in the other two categories, which are either they're quotations good soldiers, which they're going to produce for you. They might not necessarily have the managerial quality that you're looking for to
but they're good.
Do a team.
They're good.
But they're going to fucking, like, push out what they need to push out.
Yeah, they can come home, come there, do a job, collect their paycheck.
Clock in, clock out, and they'll be reliable for you.
Yeah, every single time.
And then you have the people that need the motivation. You have the people that are there.
A lot. I was playing with a cat.
you have
my hands. I can't.
I know you're a fiddler. I get it.
Yeah, and I can't fiddle with myself on
camera. I'm like that too.
This isn't like a CNN video chat, COVID.
I get
Was
it.
that the same? I don't know. It doesn't matter to me.
No, yeah, I know what you're saying though.
They're all the same.
I'm a fiddler too half the time. Like I get it.
Yeah, I'll probably
even when I'm at work, I'll be fucking tossing shit. And I'm like,
yeah.
But then there's the
Yeah.
the other 90%, which about 10 to 15% of it includes the people that are good soldiers, and then the majority of them are people that are looking for a job to just collect a paycheck.
Yeah.
Bare minimum effort of what they're looking at or under.
That's
which those people, it's not to say it's your job as a manager or as a leader to find those people and give them incentives. You know what I mean?
Yeah, find them motivated.
Find them a reason to give a fuck.
Yeah.
If you don't find them reasons to give a fuck, they're going to be nothing more than the next person collecting the paycheck. And they're going to be the people that you go to at the end of the night and you find that they did barely half their job. And then you're like, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? Like, what are we paying them for? What are we doing this for? It's like, well, they're going to need incentive. As much as you should, like, maybe in your mind, you're like, hey, we hired them. They should be doing their job. Well, yes, maybe they should be. But some people are just motivated differently. It's like, it's just not the same shit across the board.
Yeah.
And maybe the reason I look at it this way is because I look at students the same way. It's like when I was doing my teaching courses, it's the same shit. You have your students that achieve. They're always going to be achievers. They're always going to be your A++.
Yeah.
You have your Bs, your solid Bs. You know, if they strive for the semester, they're going to be their A-. And then you have their C minuses and below that are going to be there. It's like, but they could be maybe a B-. But it's up to you to try to get them to push along those lines.
Yeah, especially if
it's the same thing with management. If you wrap up management in the way you wrap up a fucking grading system along a school, it's a lot easier to understand because it's really the same shit. It's all about your performance.
Yeah, it's how you walk around. It's how you present yourself to your staff.
Yeah,
like it's all cool to be like friendly and whatever to your people, but there's a line.
Yeah,
like you're the fucking boss.
100%.
Like if they don't want to do their job, you find fucking someone who will.
Yeah, and it's not to be like cold-hearted or unfair. It's just how it is.
Yeah,
it's like
it's
if I try to give the lower end of that spectrum, the people that aren't performing or aren't soldiers, if I try to show them ways to perform better and they just don't take advantage of it, then they're probably going to be replaced. It's because you're in a wheel of a business at that point.
Well, no, nowadays.
And if you're costing the business money in one way or the other, they're not going to keep you on the fucking spoke. Like, they're going to try to get somebody else that wants it.
Well, nowadays it's it's almost impossible to get that motivation, especially this new generation. They want more for less.
I know. Yeah, they do.
It's like
absolutely right. And it's
but,
it's like when they first started, like right after, during COVID, I guess, when it really started, but it's a little before that. But they started, pushing for the $15 minimum wage, and they started pushing for all this shit, and I was like, listen, if we started upping the minimum wage in accordance to inflation,
that's one thing.
In the late 90s, early 2000s, it would have worked. It might have worked. Like, you know what I mean? It might have kept up with the inflation.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And you might have been able to, at this point, beat 15 an hour.
Yeah.
To fucking be minimum wage. But they didn't. You can't just switch the minimum wage state to state, especially in Pennsylvania, when it's like $7.25 and you want to more than double it within like a fucking second. Like, that doesn't work.
No.
And what will happen with businesses, and we saw a few, I know Subway, Subway? No, Subway didn't try it yet. McDonald's tried it. McDonald's is doing it.
Yeah.
They're trying, they do $15.
Yeah, and now they have kiosks.
Yeah.
And they don't even they barely need a front counter person. Most of their sales are through drive-through.
Yeah.
Because I've worked at McDonald's for a couple of years. Like, I have my fucking family work at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like, the majority of the business comes through drive-throughs. And now with the kiosks, like, you just save, like, 4 people do what they can do faster.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean. You save money because now you don't have to pay those people to run the cash register.
Yeah.
All you have to do, you know what I mean. You just buy a couple. You can pay just enough for a couple grill people, maybe one, and a fucking swing manager, and people who work the window.
So, all that they fucking did, when everyone started crying out of, oh, minimum wage should be this. Number one, let me just say this, and this is going to ruffle some fucking feathers, and I know it is, but your minimum wage should not be a living wage. That's not the goal. I mean, a minimum wage, typically, even when I was like my parents even described to me, it's like growing up was your minimum wage is your starting job. It shouldn't be something that you're going to strive toward, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like you should be striving to make more than that. It's like, so it's not supposed to be a living wage.
Yeah, it's just a start point.
So,
it's meant...
and then you move up from there. It's like if you're there, that business has started you minimum wage, maybe for years, maybe you move up your way up to $10, $11, $12 an hour or more, depending on how driven you are. But not everyone's going to be the same driven. That's the beauty of not being a communist fucking country. It's like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like people want $15 an hour here for minimum wage and to start off,
and then do
the minimum shit.
Yeah, and they don't even do the minimum.
And then they don't even rise to that occasion of doing the minimum shit. So, but all that you had there was certain companies like McDonald's trying this and trying to appease these people.
You know?
And then what you had was...
You just have a piss off people who've been there for fucking 20
exactly,
years.
Pissed off experienced people that are like, wait a minute, I had to work here for 20 years to make myself to $15, $16 an hour.
Dude, the swing managers don't... Well, when I was working McDonald's, I don't even think the swing managers were making $15 an hour.
Right. So, like, you have the people that are there for years experience getting pissed the fuck off, and then you have the people that are legitimately looking to up their ways, be like, well, what's the point in this place?
Yeah, and then, like, because they, like, okay, well, this guy's been here for 5 years, he makes, you know what I mean, they say he makes, like, $8 an hour.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we're moving the wage 8 up to 8. And then they don't bump him. They just keep him at that 8.
Which you're like, what the fuck was
He's
that?
like, well, that's the, but basically just saying, like, you worked all those years and put all those efforts in to nickel, because McDonald's, when I worked at McDonald's, it was fucking dime.
Nickel and dimes.
They nickel and dime your raise.
So basically, the guy that you started at $8 an hour, that I'm at $8 an hour, my experience means jack shit.
A base, and then you got another guy who's making exactly the same work for doing half, and you have to train that person, you know what I mean?
And then now today, which I always talked about, even when I was with, like my ex before, at work, that one, before her, we always actually talked about this just randomly, because they started talking about this while we were together. It was like, all right, so if McDonald's raises us to $15 an hour, all that they're going to do is piss those people off that we talked about. And then what they're going to do is cut the hours of the new people they hire to save money. Because there is no way in hell the new hires are going to get like the hours they want to at $15 an hour to start.
Yeah, no, they're not going to get full.
So, exactly.
They're not going to hire full-time employees.
Yeah.
What they do is... everyone's part-time. And then this way, if you go below 40 hours, you can't file for partial unemployment.
Yeah.
Because you're considered a part-time employee. Even if you get 40 hours, you're still considered a part-time employee. So this way they can move you, they can cut you if they have to move shifts. So like this way, like 1 week you get 36 hours, and next week you get maybe 35 or even, even close to 40.
In a way, still nickel and diming it in terms of what you're talking about, but it's it's all the same shit though. Yeah. It's like you raise the minimum wage, but you're really not forking out more money.
Yeah, they understand the flexibility is good, but still, like this way, they don't have to make 40
unless
hours.
You're planning on managing a McDonald's, which is your dream, which to each their own, you know what I mean? But like,
I get a friend. I am.
Unless you're planning on that. No, I mean, if you're gonna, it's a living. You know what I mean? In case you're managing,
if you want to work, move your way up the company, especially if you go get there long enough.
It's a living, just like any fucking big money making corporation is a fucking
exactly. You work your way up, and then some. Maybe you get into corporate, and maybe you lease.
You get a McDonald's corporate, you're pretty good.
Yeah, you lease a McDonald's because they're all privately owned.
Yeah, but unless you're if you're planning to do that. McDonald's, by my standards and by a lot of people that I fucking, you know what I mean? It's like growing up, McDonald's to start at was always like, hey, I'm going to work at McDonald's as a starting job. It's never, unless you want to stay there.
Yeah, it's not a career.
It shouldn't be, you're like, hey, I'm making a good hourly wage, I'm going to stay here. Like, it's never supposed to be.
No, it's for
your fucking goal.
No, it's for high school kids and dropouts.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a fast food plane. No offense to those. No, fuck. You know what? Fuck you.
Yeah, this is unscripted, unedited, no fucking filters. Go ahead.
It's for exactly what it is. Because I was a fucking loser when I went in McDonald's. Yeah, I was a 21-year-old idiot kid. I made fucking $8.25 an hour. I think when I left. But I was there for 2 years. But I worked my way up.
Yeah,
I went from being like a regular grill cook into a trainer cook.
Yeah,
like a trainer. Like, nothing to mention, I got a nice fancy red shirt out of it. You know what I mean? That was hard to deal with. But, like, you know what I mean? When you're yelling at people, at least just show some kind of fucking source of passion.
And like, sometimes that's what people need, though. Like people need that fucking source of...
Can you imagine if I cared at Cracker Barrel? They would fire me because I'd be way too aggressive for them.
I would want you to train people at that place.
I'd be yelling and throwing shit. Like, when I first started, I was throwing shit. I threw shit a lot. I told Jess, like, I haven't thrown anything in months. She's like, yeah, it's pretty good. I'm like, is it? Is it? Like, I'd rather just bottle it up and then come home and then shit on you people with my brother.
I mean...
Because he understands my frustration and how I feel about working in the kitchens.
Listen, there is something truth that people always say that, but people of the restaurant business are a different breed. Yeah, they're cut of a different cloth, and they're not.
The kitchen's meant for misfits.
Yeah, and it's true though.
We're all outcasts and misfits, and we all have.
And I'm not saying that to have people like feel bad or feel like this shit. It's just how it is.
Yeah, that's where people go, and you know what?
I've made family in fucking kitchens. You know what I mean? Like
I have some really good friends.
Really good friends. You know what I mean? Yeah, like they're fucking doing this podcast right now. It's like, this is a new fucking thing. It's just...
I got it.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I got it. I'm a quick one.
Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, no party foul.
It is... Alright, good shit.
I know if any of the stoners person like, you dropped the bowl, party foul.
For the sheer recording, they don't know. But
yeah, I dropped the ball. That's why I said it. Like, they saw me fucking.
They saw it.
Like, oh shit! And I caught it. I didn't spill any of the weed. It's still in there. It's a pretty deep bowl.
Yeah, no, but it's fucking nuts, man. It's like, it's not just an exaggeration. It's true. People that work in the restaurant industry and stay there for an extended period of time, you're cut from a different cloth because.
It's a hard life.
We know people who I told you I want to have on the podcast soon, but I know people, even he's like, dude, from my experience, and you know what he's done. It's like the stress that he's under in the restaurant business is he would rather do his other fucking gig.
It's a hard life.
And it's like, he literally said that to me multiple times, and I was like, dude, it's fucking stupid. Because sometimes it's just, no matter how many people you deal with, and you try to put logic to a situation, depending on where you are, it just does not work out in the whole spoke of the wheel. It just doesn't keep its traction, and it's just like shit falls apart, and you got to be on your toes when it does, and you have to be able to hop from one spot to another, and it's just like, it's consistently stressful shit. That's why, like, whenever there's a dead day, like, even, I know servers at any restaurant, when there's a dead day with a server, it fucking sucks financially for them.
Yeah, like they don't get anything
because they are just paying. They're not paid minimum wage. They're paid fucking low. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like they don't make dick if they don't get tips.
Like less than like $3.
Yeah.
All their funds are based on tips.
And that's for most restaurants. Yeah. So for you people that don't know that, yeah, servers don't make jack shit if you don't tip them. Like, I get it. Not every server is fantastic, but the ones that really go out of their way, make sure you tip them really fucking well. It's like, because they're really trying to work for the fucking money they get. They don't get the minimum wage. Like, you know what I mean? They don't. They get half that.
They don't get
lucky.
The respect they deserve either.
No,
they get a lot of shit. No lie, from like between the customers, and not to mention us,
the cooks. If they fuck up, and like some cooks are better than others. You know what I mean? We're dealing with that.
I try not to get mad at the servers when they fuck up.
Yeah,
it's like, well, I do it all the time.
We always fuck up. Like, we fuck up as cooks. It's just we all know we got a lot of stress going on, a lot of shit all at once. So it's like, so if you don't, please, if you're going out, just tip your fucking servers. I know some aren't as good as others. I'm not saying tip everyone well.
But yeah, you never
But
know.
if you have a good server and you're like, yeah, they did a good job.
They're trying.
Please tip
Please
them.
try. Especially if they're new, because it's a little rough.
Exactly,
when
yeah.
When you're new.
You know, we have a lot of new servers up there
we got
now,
a couple.
too.
We got a couple. They never talk to me, but that's okay.
They're constantly cycling in and out. But
I don't have a friendly face at work. I kind of look like a man.
Well, I told Liv. Oh, I fucking name dropped her on accident.
She don't watch. Okay.
She doesn't watch it yet. I'm not gonna use the last name, but Liv, if you do watch, I didn't even fucking know you watch, but you know.
Like and subscribe,
I know the other day you'll attest to this story. So the other day she asked you for some shit, and it was towards the end of the night. It was something with brown gravy or whatever the fuck. And she was like, I don't want to like. She was like, I asked him for like 3 things right. And I was like, I literally told her, I was like, he's a fucking big teddy bear, right? I was like, he might wear a face that's maybe not as friendly.
Don't tell people that.
It's like I told her that. I was like, you can ask. I was like,
I'd be a real fucking asshole. I'm really good at being an asshole.
I was like, he's not gonna listen. If you're not I told her, I was like, if you're not a dick to him, he's not gonna be a dick to you. I was like, you know what I mean?
Don't take my tones personal.
Exactly, yeah. I said he might wear like a fucking the face of like I'm gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if I'm pissed off, it's usually because I'm mad at myself.
Yeah, no, he's not gonna fucking.
I'm gonna give you your shit because I want you out of my window.
If you're consistently fucking up and you're like asking for shit, he might give you a little shit back.
Yeah, you'll get the look. I'll just look at you.
Don't take it personally.
You'll know.
It's like it's the same.
You know when I'm mad.
I think as far as that goes. The window, I'm maybe one of the more friendly people.
You're probably the friendliest people. Well, yeah.
Every now and then, people get under my skin when we get shit, and they keep messing up because I know the whole spoke of the wheel now.
You're really good at listen. You gotta knock them off. Like I would just stare at them until they cry, and then Kevin would just fucking he would just do what he does, which is it's art.
Again, first names only.
The guy's a master at verbally assaulting people.
That man is.
I miss working shifts with him. Not gonna lie. I don't care if I know.
Are you working Friday?
No, on grill. I'm working backup.
Well, he'll be there Friday though.
I know, but I want to
work on the line with him.
Yeah, because then it's different. Then the energy's different.
You get a front row seat.
Yeah, I can. Well, to be fair, I instigate a lot of it.
I know.
I get him riled up on purpose because I'm bored, and I want to see. I think it's fucking funny. He's funny, especially when he gets going and he can't stop. I just laugh my balls off.
That's why I want to have Kevin. Not going to give the last name, but we call him Beardy. Want to get him on here because he has some fucking personal experience stories. He has some shit to tell, and he is just. He's one of the most naturally funny motherfuckers I have ever had the pleasure of meeting and working with. So I want to get him on here. Since I've already talked to her and she said she'll be on the podcast at some point. If you guys don't know, she deals with a lot of fucking bands. If you've heard of fucking Steel Panther, if you've heard of Fozzy, if you like Fozzy, she does shows for them. She did a whole thing. She went out and she shot Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, Machine Gun Kelly, Ace Frehley.
Ace Frehley, yeah. So we're gonna have MSU Media. She goes by on all of her panel names. Yeah. We're gonna have her on the show hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah, once we get our shit together,
once we get her on, she said she'd already be on, and on the drop of a hat. So she'll be on. We'll have Beardy on. He'll be funny as fuck. Don't miss that one.
We'll try to have some people on once we get better equipment and we get this thing going.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out this week actually and get some good shit. You're gonna have some hopefully. Some better quality video, some better quality mics. You're going to be able to listen to us with a clear quality. You won't have to deal with the bullshit. Yeah. I know it's not the worst thing to listen to, but I know it's not.
Oh, no, I think
it's not as good.
I think we come pretty clear over when I listen to the Spotify versions.
It's not bad, yeah.
Yeah, I still cringe because I think my voice is obnoxious.
Everyone thinks that shit, though.
Yeah, well, you just see how I feel on my face.
I think my voice is cringe.
That's why I changed my profile to all the grown-ups.
Oh, my God.
Because I'm so self-conscious.
Yeah, but no, it's
I don't know, wear a mask.
You could be like Cody Rhodes in 2010.
No, just wear a bag over my head.
Speaking of which, we haven't covered any wrestling in a little bit. So maybe we can end on that to not, make this too long of a podcast, but at least another installation.
I don't know anything about Cody Rhodes. I keep reading that he wants to face Seth Rollins again.
I don't know, I didn't watch it, but I know there's a little, promo video that came out, and it was, his intentions for 2023 and all this shit. I didn't watch it yet. It either came out last week on SmackDown or Raw, whatever the fuck, but he's coming back. He definitely is going to be back in the ring. I think once he comes back, I don't see how he's not going to go for one of the titles immediately. He's going to win the IC or he's going to win the main one.
Yeah, they keep talking about splitting the Universal title.
Yes, yeah. Here's my thing, though. I was fully convinced before Mania of last year, when he was all teased, that's what they were going to do with Reigns, and they were going to split that title and have Cody Rhodes win one, or at least win the world title. Yeah. But I'm looking at this whole shit now as a landscape, and you know what I've noticed about WWE is that they've really changed their focus on factions. There are a lot of factions.
Yeah, and
legitimate ones.
Exactly. It's not like, yeah, you throw some guys, so it's not like they threw some guys together and see if it worked.
Any one is like a threat, and I would say, oh, that's cool, they'll have some feuds. But the fact that the main focus on both shows is a faction, which is the Bloodline, with Reigns having both titles, the Usos having both sets of tag titles.
Yeah, they almost have the complete...
Even Sami Zayn, he's gonna... I think he might... I don't know if he's gonna win the title before he faces... He's gonna face Reigns, by the way. There's no way, in my opinion, he's not gonna face Reigns at some point for that title. Or he's gonna go and do a main title stretch. He has to after this.
Yeah, he's the hot... right, Sami Zayn's the hottest thing going on right now. As a WWE superstar.
Which I think they might use as an overshadowing thing to get Reigns to turn either on him or kick him out. Or we'll see what's going to happen. But
exactly, because Paul Heyman did
the story writes itself.
Yeah, Paul Heyman, who's a fucking creative genius.
Yeah.
He already had him out. This is not to... He's overshining Roman Reigns.
Yeah, that backstage segment. That was fucking good. That was fucking... to plant the little seeds in there, it's just don't overshadow him. Don't...
Yeah.
Be in his shadow.
Even in back... I read somewhere, even in the back, off camera, that they told the Usos they're looking too much like Roman Reigns.
Oh, I saw that. And he was like, who the fuck do you want me to look like?
Yeah, he's like, we're family, you retard.
It's of course we're going to look like him. We're literally in the same blood. We're called the Bloodline, but we're actually blood.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Exactly, and that's stupid.
So does Solo.
Yeah.
It's the same shit. By the way, Solo was basically Umaga, if you haven't noticed.
I noticed the change in movesets.
Just everything. Well, he even does this shit, and he,
I can see him being a...
He does the fucking thing in the corner with his ass, fucking runs.
Well, he's a heavy boy. Attack. I think if he's got...
He does a fucking... Somebody Samoan does a Samoan drop, but he does Samoan spike. He's doing everything.
I noticed that. But Umaga was a fucking beast.
He was ridiculous.
Dude.
I'm going to go home and watch him a match with Umaga now.
Yeah, I've watched Umaga for a minute, because he was in... He was in the tag... What the fuck was that tag team called?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
With him and Rosie.
Yes.
What the hell was it called, though?
It was something with the superhero, right? That shit?
No.
It was right before that.
It was before that. Because Rosie went on to...
Be the superhero in training or shit.
Yeah, working with Hurricane. Working with Helms. And they changed him... What the fuck was the name of him?
I don't even remember. I know what you're talking about, because it was Rosie and Umaga, but it wasn't Umaga.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers Umaga. Which is honestly kind of what you wanted... Because Umaga was what he was remembered by.
Unless you watched wrestling,
you didn't know who Umaga was
from late night,
even when Umaga debuted, you didn't know he was part of that tag team.
No, I had no idea until I looked back, until I started I was like, I knew that guy looked familiar.
Yep. God, I can't remember his name now. I'm gonna have to look that up. But if you're a wrestling fan, you know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, that dude's...
Umaga was insane.
He was such a fucking monster.
He should not have moved the way he moved.
No.
For his fucking size.
Dude, I still today talk about how he does the Samoan drop.
My God.
The pop up. And
Fucking
it's so
down.
It's so fucking
flawless.
It's so fast and so clean. And then every time I see it, I cringe. I was like, that fucking looked like
it looked like it's so bad.
Because they go up so smooth and he just like
boom.
They hang and he just like pulls them down and.
I know he literally grabs the limbs and it's like
so that's like near 400 pounds. He's just like he's so brutal.
His fucking splashes too. That's a lot of weight.
That's a lot of weight.
That's the fucking splashes you.
You know he gave Steve-O a concussion.
No, I didn't know that.
There was an episode where it was they were promoting the Jackass, either Jackass or Wild Boys. It might have been Wild Boys because it was Steve-O and Chris Pontius. He talks about it. He talks again about it on a podcast.
Yeah.
He said he didn't know. He knew he was going to take the splash, but he didn't know you were supposed to stop moving.
Ooh.
Yeah, like he didn't know the etiquette. He didn't realize the etiquette. You're supposed to pretend like you're knocked the fuck out after he took his off the splash, and he kept moving. Manga felt disrespected, and he went back into the ring and you watch him give him those forearms. He said, "Gave him a concussion." He knocked him. Yeah, he knocked him out. Gave him almost near concussion.
You know, that reminds me of that fucking match.
I was like, that's like, people are like, well, why do you do that? I'm like, because that's the fucking show.
It's the profession.
Yeah, you disrespect the art.
Yeah, that's like
you people don't understand. Like you get hurt.
All right, in the same sense, that's like stepping into a theater performance and just going completely off script to make your other counter actor looking like shit. It's the same kind of way.
Yeah.
The same kind of respect is there. Like if you're not playing off, if you don't act like a move, even though it actually hurts. You take a splash from a guy that's 400 pounds, your fucking stomach, your ribs are gonna be fucked.
Yeah,
it's gonna hurt like a mother, but you gotta like fucking not move and just take it. Yeah, you stay like you're dead.
People don't believe how much
they don't respect that enough.
That a lot of those guys perform injured.
Yeah, that was like even Finn Balor's one that always comes to mind when they say that shit. When he fucking popped Seth Rollins at SummerSlam, was it 16? SummerSlam 16?
It might have been.
Something like that. Yeah, he gave him the buckle bomb into the barricade. The man landed, hit his shoulder, popped it right out of place.
Yeah, it was...
Fucking had to get surgery on it later on, a month later.
He dislocated it during the match.
That man...
And popped it back in.
The camera guy pans back to him as he's doing this, and you can see him do this shit, and he tries to pop it back in place. So he can finish the fucking match.
Yeah, if you pause it, his shoulder
you can see it hanging. He goes like this, and he like pops it in, and then finishes the match, and wins the match is scripted.
Exactly. Without... put all that pain aside.
For the show.
Those guys...
That's why everyone like Vince always said the show must go on. And that's what he meant by it. Like, you fucking get injured, you better finish the show.
Yeah, unless it's obviously...
Unless it's, like, super fucking serious.
Yeah, but they have...
You work through the pain.
Yeah, they
you
have
know what I mean?
Like a dislocated arm. Like, a normal... Like, the people who shit on it, they wouldn't even be able to do half that shit.
The people that say, like, yo, wrestling is fake, right?
No
like, bro.
Shit, bro.
I don't watch it because I think it's UFC. I watch it because it's a fucking art form.
Let me slap a sharpshooter on them and show them how fake
That's how much that shit hurts.
That shit does fucking hurt.
All right, let me tell you this. So, as wrestling fans growing up then, my brother and I, and keep in mind my brother was like 7 years older than me.
Yeah, I used to do the same shit.
We used to have wrestling matches all the fucking time in the house.
Constantly. You get yelled at for it.
Fucking, I would, because I was smaller, again, 7 years younger, so when I was, he was 15, 16, I was like 8 or 9. So he would I would always be the fucking light, cruiserweight, doing this high, top the rope shit, trying to kick him and everything. He would fucking pick me up, choke slam me on the bed, watch my ass bounce and shit. You know what I mean? I was fortunate enough, when I was younger, because my parents both, we were middle lower class people, but we were wealthy enough to have a pool. You know what I mean? We had a fucking above ground pool.
Oh, we didn't live in the same neighborhood.
So they both lived, wage jobs that were decent, for a decent, growing up. And then they got divorced, and then I was, what I mean. But
puddles.
But the pool, those were our wrestling matches, because
yeah, you can do suplexes.
Oh my god, do we do suplexes? All this shit, suplexes where you throw me off, you know what I mean? In the water,
especially if there's more.
Oh my god!
Especially if you had a couple of buddies.
Yeah.
He'd like do
power bombs. He'd hold me up there, like fucking throw me down. You know what I
do
mean?
Legion
Like,
of Doom, just fucking off the rope.
so fucking
Jump off
awesome.
the ladder, close.
But then there was also me, yeah, that was like, because we had a deck, like a little deck alongside of the pool.
Right.
So like for the top rope maneuvers, I would climb up and do fucking like Shawn Michaels elbow drops onto him. You know, I would do swantons onto him and shit, like Jeff Hardy and all that shit.
I always loved doing it.
So much fun.
I don't know what drove me to do it. I used to do that, so that was my favorite. Hit those swanton bombs.
The swanton was so fun to do.
That's before I fucking hit puberty and became the fucking lump that I am.
No, I could probably still do a swanton or two.
Yeah, if I get into shape.
Yeah. 25-year-old me could still pull off a swanton in a
I
pool.
could still do the swanton.
I could do it, yeah. I was never able to do a good moonsault though.
I still can.
I the only way I was able to do it was on a diving board.
You need extra leverage.
Like the extra fucking bounce and fucking throw myself back. Yeah. Other than that, I can never fucking do that.
No, that takes practice.
Like,
you pull your knees in or some shit.
Yeah. There's actually a fucking method to that shit, and it's like, it's hard to do.
That's why I stuck with like, you know what I mean, fucking, like hard hitting hit moves or like submissions.
I legit elbowed him a few times though. Cause my brother and I, like at each point, it's funny. We were each like, you know, we were bigger guys, like on and off. Like I was bigger in high school, you know, heavy set and shit. He was also the same way, but he was like, I think he's like 6'2", so he was a little taller.
Yeah.
But he was always, you know, on and off heavy. Like we always like switched. Like whenever I lost weight, he was heavier. He lost weight, I was heavy. It was weird as fuck. But he was always, you know, we were always heavier set. But growing up, we were both kind of like in that space. So, yeah, he would always, you know, like he'd be the bigger guy doing all this shit to me, and I always tried to be the smaller cruiserweight. And he would be, you know, like I'd set him up for something. He'd be like sitting in the middle of the pool, but I would wait for him to get farther away so that I would like run across the deck and try to like really leap for that fucking elbow. And there was a couple times where I fucking leaped for the elbow and I just fucking got him. And he's like, bro, what the fuck? And you're like, I got you like right in the chest with that elbow. Like, I'm sorry.
Me and my brother used to do legit backyard wrestling. Like I had a real legit backyard wrestling.
Oh, we got fucking crazy.
We called it DEW. At first we called it DEW. It was Dragon Extreme Wrestling. Like Dragon was our club. And like I had shirts and everything made. Yeah, and me and my brother invented a move. We called it the Tiki Torture match.
Oh, no.
Like, you know those tiki tortures you buy at the gym thing? Yeah, so they aren't very flexible, and they don't break very easily. So, but, like, we had this set up in the thing. Like, it was really cool because we had a bunch of them. You would, like, set them up and then, like, around the ring. Yeah. And then light them. And then we had a couple broken ones that we still had.
Did you win the match by, like, pinfall submission, same shit?
Yeah, very basic hardcore, very basic hardcore.
Okay, yeah, all right, yeah.
But like the focus of the match is almost like a kendo stick match, except we use the tiki torches.
Once you get them, it's what you can use.
Yeah, like that was the main thing. But like you can use other stuff. But I didn't realize that they don't break easy, like they don't bend like the kendo sticks.
Nope.
And I told my brother, I was like, I wanted this to do a good match because I think it was. I was like, just keep hitting me with it until it breaks. Oh, and I was like, don't worry about it. I can take it. I'm like, towards the end of the match, he actually has a scar on his shoulder. He smashed me with a Snapple bottle and cut his shoulder. But
a Snapple? Oh.
A Snapple bottle, yeah. And I told him just do it as like hard as you can.
Oh, I'm like, no.
And then keep doing it. I'm like, it's gonna break. And then I thought maybe like 5 or 6. I take some really good ones.
Right.
Yeah, no. It was, I think it snapped. It started to give around 15. So I took 15 lashes with one of those fucking tiki torches across my back. Oh. And I think pretty sure, yeah, there was welts for there for about a good week.
Fuck, man.
Yeah. I hurt myself a lot. He actually has a chip in his spine from a power bomb to a pool ladder.
Ooh. But that wasn't like a metal one.
It was the cheap ones you got.
The cheap plastic ones?
Yeah, they came with a thing.
Oh, they're fucking solid.
I pulled him down, and he turned the wrong way, and he landed on it. Yeah, I'm all banged up from it. Like the
backyard matches.
Because we didn't have ring. I used the chain link. We used the chain link fence and the ground.
Fuck.
And then whatever we else we found. Like,
dude,
yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
I know. I've been powdered. My cousin. My final match was against my cousin Sammy. That's when I dropped the belt.
How long ago was that?
Probably at least 12 years ago. That was my last match. Because then I moved. Cause I dropped it because I was moving to South Carolina.
So we got to bring you out of retirement for one, don't we?
Yeah, I still have the plate that I took from when I worked at the chemical plant.
For the fuck of it, whether it goes anywhere or not, we might have to fucking do a match.
I'm really, as long as there's a ring, because I want to at least do it.
I know, I want to fucking do something that's some kind of padding, and it's like it's actually a fucking.
Even if it's I just like it needs to be like not like it doesn't have to be like WWE standard fucking ring, because those rings are way too big. They're 24 feet long.
Yeah. No, something that's like a padding, mats, maybe some ropes, like something that's you know what I mean, like.
Yeah,
legit something
that's
like
fine.
It's like
even if
ring.
it's like an indie ring, like an old like if we could find a cheap indie ring, that'd be cool.
Yeah, something on sale.
Yeah,
I gotta find. I wish I knew somebody that was like into wrestling that they were just trying to get rid of a ring.
I see one on eBay for like $5,000, but I'm not trying.
That's not too bad for a full ring though.
No, but I still wouldn't spend it on me using it once.
I know that's what I mean. It'd have to be a full fucking plan for
Plus,
like.
I don't think any landlord would let me put a ring in the backyard.
You almost have to rent a fucking little property for that shit.
Yeah, you have to find a place to store it, and you gotta learn how to set it up.
We gotta talk to a fucking place up there and see if they let rent out the third dining room, like you said.
Yeah.
Start doing during the week. Start doing in-house shows.
I would have to get into shape and practice. We would have to practice.
Oh yeah, dude, I have to really get because I haven't fucking practiced any fucking like wrestling shit. While.
No, because I mean,
I'd have to start from scratch almost.
I don't think because I don't think I could I wouldn't be able to take the bump.
Well, I'll be taking most of the bumps in that match.
I don't have a problem it's not that like.
But like,
I
just think because like I'm a little fucking smaller. I think I'll be taking the bigger like you'll be throwing me around more. I'll be doing more. Still like
I don't know. It depends on how we work the match. I don't have a problem taking the bump.
I recorded a couple fucking things. I told you I record just because I always keep the shit. I'm not trying to be creative. I still keep shit on like recorded that I think of in the moment, and I'll record it. And like I did a cool. Little TikTok yesterday I kept to myself. I didn't fucking share it, but it was like all towards my character, and it was like, yeah, that fucking looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I know my character was always something, and it's kind of crazy that he's doing it because Bray Wyatt's always been my fucking like one of my top guys since he came into WWE, and he was in developmental down there before NXT was NXT and all that shit. It's like. Just the creative genius behind him. I always love the story behind wrestling more than the wrestling itself.
Yeah, especially when you can feel the emotions.
Yeah, and it's like that man can create anything out of thin air. It's like he can fucking one of the most creative guys, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's like not even fair. So, his whole like. Persona now coming back with the shattered thing, and I think I finally figured it out though. By the way, as it's going through these like 2 months since he's been back. Did you see last Monday?
I saw I think I saw highlights.
Did you see where Alexa lost her shit?
Which part? Which time?
Well, she lost her shit on SmackDown when she smashed the fucking vase over Bianca's head.
I saw that.
And then on Monday, she was in a match against. Was it against Bianca or is it a tag team again? I don't fucking remember.
I don't know. I know she has a title match against.
Oh, it was supposed to be against her, yeah. And the ref got knocked out. It was like an old Attitude Era moment where the ref got fucking knocked out. And another ref came down the ring, and something happened. One or another. Oh, she was going to fucking basically win the match. And Bray Wyatt's fucking like little firefly thing happened, and she started doing this shit, like grabbing her head.
The death hop.
And then it happened a second time, and she was literally just losing her shit, and she literally jumped on the ref, and started fucking just smashing his fucking head in.
Yeah,
like left and right.
I noticed that the first time when Alexis won she beat, who did she hear? She's not Bailey.
Bianca, yeah. Oh no, she beat someone to go into face Bianca.
Yeah, to get.
And she took her in the fucking.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she
was like, wait,
whoa. She was like congratulating her.
Yeah.
And the thing flashed, and she
she like blacked out for a second. Was like, what the fuck?
And I was like, oh, this is gonna be this storyline. This is much deeper than I thought.
It's across both fucking brands. It's not like, because he's on SmackDown, but it's across Raw and SmackDown.
And yeah, he has this thing with LA Knight. I kind of like LA Knight.
I love him.
I didn't watch him much in the.
I didn't think he was that fucking good.
I don't pay attention. I honestly don't pay attention a lot in these scenes. It's a lot. Just so much out there.
No, he's like.
He seems like he has an old school.
That's a dog, by the way.
Yeah.
Have you heard that one?
Yeah, that's Blazer.
No, he is an old school fucking like.
He has like an old school heel vibe.
On the mic, heel, like he can talk, but he's good in the fucking ring too. But he can like talk, and it keeps you engaged no matter what. And he like has a way of getting at the audience to irritate them. It's like natural heel vibes, and you're like, I fucking love that guy.
Yeah, it's perfect, and it's perfect for what Bray's doing. You have to wait.
We're almost done. We're almost done. Come here, I'll fucking pet you.
Yes, the pre.
Hey. Yeah, no, but Bray Wyatt, I think I finally figured the shit out. Is that after like 2 months, we're almost done. We're almost done. After like 2 months of Wyatt doing this shit, you're not gonna let me get through this last little bit, are you? We might have to pause this.
Yeah, you might have to.
We might have to pause this. He's really gotta go. All right, let's pause this. We'll get a.